Okay, bear with me for a moment. Are you familiar with the critically acclaimed show on Hulu, The Bear? It's about a young, well-trained chef who takes over his family's restaurant in Chicago after the death of his brother. The show deals with suicide, mental health, dysfunctional family dynamics, some really heavy stuff. But it has also set records for the most primetime Emmy Awards ever for a comedy series. The Bear is a comedy? Well, TV fans might remember that controversial question over the last few years, and Forbes magazine explained why that is in a story last fall. Writing, the Television Academy of Arts and Sciences has, no enforced definition of what a comedy is. Quote, they wrote, "The Bear is considered a comedy because the show's producers see it as one," which is kind of the same approach the City of Boise is taking when it comes to the pride flag. Tonight, during their regular city council meeting, they're expected to issue a proclamation, a resolution that would make the pride flag an official flag of Boise because, well, they see it as one. As the proclamation says, because the new flag law, that would be House Bill 96, quote, allows municipalities to display official flags of the municipality, and because the new law does not, quote, limit or define what constitutes an official flag of that municipality, just like the Television Academy and comedies. And while the city does not concede the flag is valid or enforceable, it does want to memorialize what are official flags of Boise. Therefore, Lauren McLean, the mayor, hereby proclaims retroactively these three flags as official flags of Boise. That'd be the blue flag, which says Boise, City of Trees, so I guess they can't replace that one now. The white Oregon donor flag, honoring National Donate Life Month, and the rainbow flag, commonly referred to as a pride flag. And since the flag law doesn't define or limit what is official, Boise's now putting the official label on the pride flag because, as we mentioned, the city leaders see it as one. So why? What would a resolution do? We've made it clear many times on the 208. Resolutions, they aren't much more than just strongly worded letters. So to get those answers, we asked them of Council President Colin Nash, the sponsor of this resolution, starting with, why does he feel the need to do this?
I think it's important for us not only to communicate to any law enforcement that might be interested, but also to the public that we're doing this out of a sense of duty rather than defiance of the state legislature. So we feel a duty to the people and the messages that we convey, but also to ensure that we're complying with the state law to the best of our ability.
Resolutions, proclamations usually don't have much legal standing. Mm-hmm. Does this really do anything, I guess, is my question.
Yeah, so it just formalizes a practice that we've already been doing. I mean, my son, when he was 5 years old, we learned that there was a pretty good chance that he's going to need a liver transplant at some point in his life. And Councilmember Stead, who raised the Organ Donation Awareness Month flag with me, she had a sister-in-law that had a kidney transplant recently. And these are the types of messages that we're excluding if there is a motivation to target, say, the pride flag in a relatively neutral manner.
The mayor has told us and said publicly, the city of Boise, meaning the residents, support this flag flying. Are you getting that same vibe? Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, I would say a majority do, but even issues that can be divisive are still important. Are still important for us to stand up for. I try to go out of my way to make sure that the things we do aren't simply gestural, but when members of the community reach out to you and say how important this is to them, it really stiffens your spine and makes you realize that what you're doing is important. And even if the Boise Pride flag makes one person feel seen and appreciated and feels like their government has their back, it would be worth it for me.
You're expecting a big crowd, or at least the police are expecting a lot of people outside, assuming here to protest the flag that's flying out there. What would you have to say to them?
Yeah, I expect supporters and opponents of it tonight. I think there is an expectation among the opponents of it that the government should remain neutral in issues like this. I did not run for office to remain neutral. I'm not neutral on any number of issues that affect the city, and I'm not neutral on defending marginalized neighbors and their civil rights and making sure that they feel seen and that Boise is a place where even if you feel like there's an effort in this state and in this country to erase LGBTQ people from the public discourse and from public spaces. City of Boise is not going to be a place that gives in that fight.
We did notice on the agenda tonight for tonight's meeting, they included a section that has a bunch of emails that people had sent in after they made this announcement that they're going to have this resolution. And predominantly, majority of them are positive, in favor of this resolution. So when he says, yeah, most of the people in Boise, yes, we just kind of skim through it. We'll kind of dig through them more this evening and see what we find. But that's kind of what we saw from the first flush. But we mentioned the crowd expected down there tonight. It's worth noting, public comment will not be taken on a resolution. That's standard practice with the Boise City Council. They're usually part of a consent agenda, meaning there's usually a bunch of stuff they just approve en masse. And this resolution is also part of that. But Council President Nash told us he expects tonight to kind of pull that out of the consent agenda and then open it up for discussion among the council members, not to the public, just among the council members. Our Abby Davis is going to be down there for that meeting beginning at 6 tonight, and we'll have a full report tonight on the news at 10.